A former Dartmouth police officer convicted of child rape is no longer in custody. A judge has nullified a jury's conviction. It's a rare decision. NBC 10's Kennedy Buck talked with the Bristol County DA.
It's been a legal game of back and forth in the case of former Dartmouth police officer Shawn Souza. In October of 2024, a jury found Souza guilty of multiple counts of rape of a child and indecent assault and battery. He was then sentenced to 10 to 15 years, but a ruling by Judge Susan Sullivan has reversed this conviction.
The judge's action essentially nullified the jury verdict and ordered a new trial. So it took away the guilty verdict that was rendered by the jury unanimously.
Souza now out of custody and potentially awaiting a new trial, which would be his third after the first one in 2022 resulted in a hung jury.
After the conviction, the defense filed a motion to enter findings of not guilty. There was no basis of it.
Bristol County DA Thomas Quinn says he's unsure of the reasons behind the court's decision. He says the judge pointed out evidence she felt should have been excluded from the trial. Plus, an organization who would show up to the courtroom to support one of the victims raised issues for her.
Asked for a hearing and were denied. So I've never really seen anything like this in my career of over 35 years.
The state has now appealed the decision. The state has now appealed that decision. Could you all also maybe call into question the judge? Could a decision be made there?
Just tried to bring to light to the court, what the law applies. That's how it's supposed to work. And the judge's conduct, it undermines the jury verdict and the jury system. And people's confidence that justice is being done in the court system in these cases.
Kennedy Buck, NBC 10 News.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
So, you saw the overturning. I'm going to play a video here in a minute that is going to show you what happened during the conviction. Now, mind you, this has been months. Souza got convicted in October, and they're overturning it now. And the reasons given were, one, that bikers against child abuse were there. There were no clothing that identified them as part of the group. They just stood with the victims of this sicko. But they were there, so that automatically, even though that people that supported this sicko were threatening his victims, we're going to rule against the prosecution because there were people there protecting the victims of this sick individual. And by the way, this wasn't brought up. Nobody said anything about this until this ruling. They wore no clothing that identified them as part of the group. They accompanied the victim outside of the courtroom due to victim feeling intimidated by the number of defendant supporters present. They accompanied the victim in the hallway outside of the view of both the judge and the jury and were not disrupted. But this was an issue according to the judge. Judge then denied the prosecutor's motion for reconsideration and denied a hearing. Prosecutors were appealing. They didn't even give notice to the prosecution before they did this. But let's get into what happened, or let's get into the prosecution part.
At 4, a former Dartmouth police officer was sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison after being convicted of raping and sexually abusing 2 young girls. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kayla Fish.
And I'm Kim Kalunian. Our Hannah Cotter is live in Fall River, where Shawn Souza faced a judge today. Hannah?
Kim, Kayla, it was emotional in that courtroom this morning as we heard from 2 victims. And this has been a long process. Souza was arrested in 2019, and the DA says this is the second time the case has gone to trial after a hung jury in 2022. Former Dartmouth police officer Shawn Souza leaving Fall River Superior Court Thursday in handcuffs. Prosecutors say Souza raped a young girl that was known to him multiple times between 2011 and 2013, starting when she was just 6 years old. They also say he molested a 15-year-old girl in 2013. Bristol County DA Thomas Quinn says Souza's first trial ended in a mistrial after a jury could not reach a verdict in 2022. A second jury found Souza guilty of 2 counts of aggravated rape of a child, 1 count of rape of a child by force, and 1 count of indecent assault and battery of a person 14 or older. Before sentencing, one victim read an impact statement to the courtroom.
I've learned that speaking out is not just about my healing, it's about helping others find their own courage to stand up and tell their stories too.
Prosecutors also read a statement from the second victim.
I want to ensure that no one else has to experience the pain that we faced.
Prosecutors were asking for a maximum sentence of 25 years, while Souza's attorney pushed for a minimum of 10. The judge ultimately agreed to a 10 to 15-year sentence.
It's a substantial sentence. We had requested more and thought more was appropriate. I mean, you are dealing with a police officer here, okay? The victim said he should have been protecting me, but it's a mandatory 10-year sentence. He's on probation. It's a second trial. He's held accountable, and under the circumstances, I am satisfied with the result.
Souza was also ordered not to have any contact with either victim. We'll have more from the judge coming up at 5. Live in Fall River, Hannah Cotter, 12 News.
All right, Hannah, thank you.
People wonder why I go after corrupt cops. This is the reason why. This is taking place around Boston. This isn't the South. I had somebody attack me. Oh, this place in the South is crooked. No, the entire country is crooked. We're just now being able to figure it out. Now, I will promise you that this person went through the South, ran their freaking mouth, and Southerners just looked at him and went, whatever. You're an idiot, and we don't care what the cops do to you. You want to know why? Because I've seen it done. I haven't participated in that little joy, because, well, usually I'm just laughing when some idiot starts going off about rednecks in the South, and then they're treated like crap by cops and everybody else. There are a lot of times that they're not, but we have our way. There are people like me that are willing to not be as Southern. But in this case, this cop, I want him to come down south. I want him to meet up with a few of us redneck folk. We got ways of dealing with him that you ain't never going to hear about him ever again. Think about that. You set him down in the middle of a community and go, guys, this is one of those, what's the jailhouse term, chomos. Oh, we'll let him be her, or we'll let him get his residual press stuff because it's modern day, and then he'll disappear. Because rednecks don't deal with this kind of crap. It don't matter if you're Southerner or not. And this judge just, I don't even know what to do. This judge is yeah. But hey, I just thought I'd bring this to you. If you stay this long into the video, hit like, hit subscribe. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.